We're family, so we were being lenient.
Because of the mold buildup and the rats and all this other stuff.
There's mold in here, and we got mold and mildew.
And all of the rent she's talking about, the judge say that it's not valid because she didn't do the right paperwork.
I'm swearing you in right now, Ms. Richardson. Do you both swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Okay. We're not bringing the witnesses in just yet. When it's your turn to present your side of the case, then any witnesses you need to call will be called in at that time. Okay.
Yeah, they're not witnesses though. The case says Marshawn Richardson and all other occupants. They're the other two occupants. Right. They're the original leaseholders.
Okay, you are the named party, so you are the one that will be presenting the defense. And if you have witnesses, such as other people occupying the property, you can call them as witnesses.
Okay.
Ms. Jackson, so let me just start with this. Do you have a lease with with Marshawn Richardson?
That was included in the evidence.
Things at once, but
that part, Judge.
Okay. Okay. So what are we looking at here, Ms. Jackson?
This is just the exhibits that I sent in.
Okay. I know Ms. Nesby is here. All right, go ahead. Second. So we've got Valerie Jackson and Ms. Richardson. You are the two that signed it. Ms. Richardson, do you have any legal objection to P2 coming into evidence?
Yes, ma'am.
What is your legal objection?
That lease was not finalized.
Your signature is on it.
I know, but through communication with me and Miss Jackson, we were waiting for my mom to come from out of town before we finalized it. That's why I never even got a physical copy of it.
Okay, this is I'm going to overrule the objection. You can make that argument, but it's got your signature and the landlord's signature, so that looks like a signed contract to me. Okay. When is the last time you received a rental payment?
A full rental payment or something on the rent.
How much are you saying is owed in rent?
$6,200. That is, I think that was the end of October.
Is that what you're seeking today? A money judgment for that amount? And a writ of possession? Correct. Okay. So, Ms. Marchand?
Yes.
Okay. So now that Ms. Jackson is finished with her testimony for now, if you would like to ask her any questions on cross-examination, you'll have an opportunity to do that now. Again, not to testify, you're going to testify in a moment, but if you have any questions for Ms. Jackson, you can ask her some questions now.
I don't have any.
Okay. All right, Ms. Richardson, then it's now your opportunity to testify on your own behalf. So you have an opportunity to do that now. When you're finished, Ms. Jackson may have some questions for you.
Okay. One, I've submitted some evidence as well to the same email address. But this is a family dispute that turned into something major. Her rent was being paid on time every month up until she asked us to leave. She sent us a text message in August and said, "I don't want any more rent from you. Just leave my house." We haven't been in the house. We actually have another house already. And not even just that, but the things that were in the house were why we weren't in the house when she's saying we were, because of the mold buildup and the rats and all this other stuff. But I sent pictures of this stuff to evidence. So we were fixing on the house and even did work at her personal house. And that was supposed to be compensating what we owed for rent. But now she's saying something different because her and my mom got into it.
Okay, so you said you vacated the property?
Yes.
When did you vacate the property?
The end of October.
Did you turn in the keys and everything?
No, ma'am, I have no way of contacting her.
I mean, you couldn't go to her place and put it in a drop box or a mailbox or anything like that? You don't know where she lives?
I do know where she lives, but she doesn't want us at her property. She's made it very clear, like we're an enemy or something.
Okay, so you still have the keys to this property? Okay. Do you still go and access the property?
No.
Is your stuff still in it?
No. And then, Judge, when can the other parties join?
Okay, Ms. Richardson, when we're finished with your testimony and your evidence, we'll get to your other people.
Okay.
All right. So Ms. Richardson, what are we looking at here?
So this is the mold buildup on my parents' bed.
That's the bottom of the bed?
That's the headboard.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. You're occupying, this is a house that you're renting? This is a home, like a full-on house or an apartment?
A full-on house.
Okay.
That's one of the nightstands. An apron from the kitchen.
Okay. When were you took these pictures?
Yes. Well, my dad took them.
Is your dad going to be testifying today?
Yes.
Were you with him when he took the pictures?
I wasn't.
Okay, then he's going to be the one that had to talk about these pictures then.
That's why I was asking.
All right. What else do you have? Something that you can, any of these exhibits?
I was about to say, she can keep going. This is just all of the pictures that we took throughout the house. And these were within the past, I want to say, what's this? November? Between September and October, these pictures were taken.
Okay. We can go to the next one.
And we can keep going. The same thing. You can keep going. These are his items. Okay, right here is the entrance where the rats come in and out of. And that's downstairs in where the laundry room area is. So we can go
again. Did your dad take this picture?
Mm-hmm. Every picture.
Is there anything in here that you did that you actually took, or?
Oh, I didn't take any of them. I had.
Then we can stop sharing the screen now for the moment. Okay, you can just say what you can talk about it, but in terms of the pictures, we'll wait for your dad.
Okay.
Okay. So what is it you wanted to say about the case in general?
Just what I've already said. We had an understanding with her because we were fixing up on the house that the rent would be cheaper. I wasn't originally on the lease. My parents were. While my mom was out of town, she brought this lease in July about re-signing, but there hadn't been a lease from January to July. So she brought this lease to re-sign. She said it's not finalized until my mom signs it. Now she's presenting it in court as if it's a finalized lease. And we never agreed to anything. That's why I never got my physical copy. And then as far as the house, we've done everything from putting new light fixtures in the house, new toilet bowls, sinks, and everything. And we're not being compensated for that either. So there'll be a.
Do you have anything in writing with saying that that would be in exchange for rent or anything like that? Did you have anything in writing related to fixing the house?
I'm not sure if she still has it because it was an agreement with her husband, but he passed away in February. The original agreement was with her husband. So she just, I don't know. She took over once he passed.
Okay, anything with the lease in July, do you have any agreement regarding the lease in July that rent would be paid in some form other than money?
No, because we never finished the discussion on the lease in July. She came over for us to sign paperwork, and she said, okay, well, until your mom gets here, we're not going to finish this, and so on and so forth. So from my understanding, it was never finalized. And then in September is when she started the what is it? The writ of possession.
She filed this case.
Mm-hmm. We've been here with you before. You just had to dismiss it because she didn't file it properly.
Right. I remember your names. I don't remember the details, but I do remember your names.
Yeah, they filed a stay in federal court. That's why you had to. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So is there anything else you want to say, Ms. Richardson? I mean, do you have anything else?
No, ma'am.
Nothing else? Okay. All right. Ms. Jackson, do you have any questions for Ms. Richardson on cross-examination?
I do. I have receipts, and they're attached to my evidence of all the rent that was paid. Ms. Richardson stated that the rent was paid in full all the way up until, I guess she said, that July. But if you look in my evidence, I included all the receipts. Those are handwritten receipts, as well as Zelle, Cash App, the way I allowed them to.
Well, it looks like you only got a $1-800 payment. So what are you referring to? So
I'm referring to Miss Richardson mentioned that there was a previous lease, which was with my husband. So when my husband passed in February is when I began being the landlord. And I spoke with them several times, not Ms. Richardson, because as she stated, the original lease was with her mom and her dad. And I have receipts, again, starting in February when my husband got sick. I have receipts all the way of the amount that they paid or did not pay. So when she says that they paid rent in full for up until July, that's not the truth.
I think she was saying that they were getting a discount on rent for doing.
Well, they were not getting a discount on rent. Even the original lease, which I have and I included in my documents as well, it didn't state anything about that. That was they actually moved in and they had a lease from December 2022, and my husband renewed the lease. And when they did the original lease, the rent was $1,700, and the agreement on that one was the property was as is, and they agreed that was fine. They would fix up, they would paint, they would do whatever needed to be done, because at the time they were homeless and living in a hotel. And so they agreed to that with my husband. Now, I didn't go back because my husband had filed eviction for them proceedings. We got that the week that he passed, that we were supposed to come. He passed on the 17th. We had a court date for February 19th. So this has been going on. It's been habitual with them.
Can I interject?
Mm-hmm. Not just yet. Okay, so again, I'll let you testify a little bit here, Ms. Jackson, but yes. Again, this was really supposed to be your chance to ask her questions.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have questions. Ms. Richardson, do you have the receipts or the amount? Do you know what amount was paid in February, March, April, May, June? Do you know the amount that was paid for those months? And do you have any evidence
when the other occupants who had the original lease get on the phone, they'll be able to send it to you. I've never sent you any payments.
We're not really dealing with, like, this dispossessory is regarding from July.
Right, it is.
We're not really dealing with this, but like, she's not asking for rent for these past months.
Okay.
So, I don't really.
So my question is, with the mold issue, was there any notification? Wait, let me just say this. With the mold issue, was there any notification, text message, email, since you said that y'all didn't want to talk to me? Was there any notification given to me about that? Because I did come in and
let her answer that question.
Okay, go ahead. Answer that question.
Yes, there was notification, which is why you sent someone to come and replace one of the walls. And you even said that was not going to be enough. You just replacing that wall because you still smelled it down there. We had that conversation. Yes, we did.
Okay. So the notification, I came in and I had the mold mitigated. In that, I was there.
Okay, questions, ma'am. Ma'am, you can respond, but you need to ask her questions.
Okay. So when the mold was mitigated, were there clothes, wet clothes, left in garbage bags, as well as left downstairs in garbage bags? Were there wet clothes left in that bedroom?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Judge, can I respond to that?
No, not yet. You're asking questions and then you can do a rebuttal.
Okay. So after the notice, you gave me notice because you said you gave me notice that it was mold. Was the mold mitigated in the area that I was told that there was mold?
One of the areas, yes.
Okay. One of the areas, which area?
What's that? The laundry room area.
Was it the laundry room or the bathroom?
I can't remember. It was one of the two.
So after that, after the mitigation, after I came in, was there a notice given to me that there was mold in the bedroom?
Yes.
And what date was that?
I don't remember. That was 3 months ago, 4 months ago, actually.
And how was that notification given to me?
Verbally, in your face.
By who?
My mother, who told you she couldn't live down there because she couldn't breathe. Which is why she wasn't there to sign the lease agreement, remember?
No.
Oh.
Okay. I have a question. The property has been vacated. On what date was the property vacated?
You have to ask the other occupants.
You don't know when you vacated the property?
I don't remember the exact date, no.
How long ago? Was it last month? Was it 2 weeks?
It's been 3 weeks we've been at this new place.
And do you remember receiving a notification from me about how to leave the key, where to leave the key when you vacate the property?
No, I don't have the same number. So if you text me, I didn't get it.
No, it was way back. You responded.
Mm-hmm.
You responded about you and the other person responded, and I gave you instruction. I gave you instructions about where to leave the key.
And when did you say that was?
It was the key return instructions. It was on August. It was on August the 11th.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
And it says place all keys, including mailbox and any other access items, in an envelope and place in the mailbox at 4160.
Is that a question?
No, it's not a question.
Okay. Do you have any other questions for Ms. Richardson?
No. So, no, I do not have any other questions for Ms. Richardson. I have one for you, Judge.
Okay. Well,
I can wait.
Okay. All right. So you're done with your cross-examination of Ms. Richardson?
Ms. Jackson?
I am.
Okay. All right. If you would like to have a brief response to what she has testified about just now, you can have a very brief response, Ms. Jackson, and then we're going to go to Ms. Richardson's next witnesses.
Yes, the rebuttal is, again, I sent instructions on where to.
How did you send it?
I sent it via text message.
To who?
I sent it to Marshawn Richardson and Chiawana Williams Nesby. And I sent it on that date because they were saying they were going to, Monday, August 11th at 2:54. And Miss Marshawn did respond to that message, as well as her mother responded to that message.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay. Ms. Richardson?
Yes.
All right, so Ms. Richardson, who do you want to call next as your next witness?
Chiawana Nesby.
All right, if we could bring Ms. Nesby in. Okay, she's labeled as Chiawana Williams. Ms.
Williams, yeah.
Ms. Williams, could you please turn your camera on? Ms. Chiawana Williams, if you could please turn your camera on and unmute. All right, so is your last name Williams or Nesby?
Both.
Okay, then say your full name for me, please.
Chiawana William Nesby.
All right, so Ms. Jackson is saying that there was never an agreement between you guys and her husband that you guys do work on the house and that'll compensate some of the rent. Is that true?
It's not true. She's a liar.
All right, we don't need all of that. Just express what the situation is.
Yes. We had an agreement with Cecil Jackson when we first moved in. I want to say we were not homeless. She got in our business and asked us to move in her house. We never asked her for her help, period.
Okay. And was Miss Jackson notified about the mold in the house?
Several times. We told her husband first. He didn't do anything about it. He said she told him he better take care of it before he owed us money for not taking care of it. Then we told her it took her months to get someone out to try to fix it. They didn't really fix it because it's still growing. It started growing in our rooms. When we moved stuff, my furniture started growing mold on it. So no, she did not fix the problem. She put band-aids on the problem. And that was just in the bathroom.
So it was the bathroom. What else do I have to ask you? She also said that, well, we won't talk about the rent because they're only worried about July rent. Is it true that she told us in August not to pay her any more rent and to just move out of her house?
Yes, it was said. She also said in the last court session that she didn't want any money. She just wanted us to move. That's what she told the last judge. And all of the rent she's talking about, the judge say that it's not valid because she didn't do the right paperwork.
We're in a new case now, so that's
right.
Water under the bridge. What's your next question, Ms. Richardson?
And the lease agreement, is it true or not true that it was not finalized until you came back from out of town and signed it?
And when I came back from out of town, I did not sign the lease. My husband was on the lease from the beginning. The lease is not valid at all. It was never signed by anyone.
Other than
Marshawn asked not to sign it till all parties were available, which never happened.
But as far as the rats, the mold, the missing tiles in the floor, was all of these things communicated with Miss Jackson?
Yes, there was.
And how were they communicated?
We told her about all the problems. She first told us that her husband was going to handle it. And then we're family, so we were being lenient and trusting that she was going to handle the situation. And we wouldn't just badgering her like she's badgering us right now. Because we was giving her time.
Okay.
We know. Go ahead.
Back in December of 22, before we moved into the house, were we homeless?
No, we were not homeless. Our house flooded. Our insurance put us in a hotel. We decided to wait for them to find us somewhere to live. She called us on a Sunday, my husband and myself, and told us that she spoke with her husband and told him that my niece and nephew is staying in a hotel right now. And I don't feel that it's fair that we have these houses and they live in a hotel. We didn't ask for her help. She came to us with the idea. And we were paying our rent. We weren't ever put out our other house. It was that the house flooded. So we had to move out of the house.
And I have one more question. What did Miss Jackson say? Miss Jackson said, Jesus. I can't remember now.
Okay. All right. Well, if you remember, let us know.
Never mind. I'll wait because I can't remember.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like Ms. Richardson is done with the questioning for Ms. Nesby at the moment. So Ms. Jackson, if you have any questions for Ms. Nesby on cross-examination, you can go ahead and ask her now. Ms. Richardson, you do need to stay in the camera, ma'am.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me assist my technician real quick. I am still at work.
Okay, you know, man, I cannot let you do that. You have to stay participating in the case. All right, go ahead, Ms. Jackson.
Okay. What if you want me to cross-examine her?
Do you have any questions for her on cross-examination? You don't have to ask her questions if you don't want to, but yeah.
I don't have any because she's gonna lie.
Okay, so it doesn't sound like Ms. Jackson has any questions for Ms. Nesby, so we can go ahead and place Ms. Nesby back in the waiting area. And what's the name of your next witness?
William Nesby.
All right, if we could bring in Mr. William Nesby, please.
Hello.
All right, Mr. Nesby, sir, if you could please turn your camera on.
I think it's on, sir. I'm sorry. It's on.
There we go. All right, so Mr. Nesby.
I'm lying about it. I'm telling the truth.
All right, so Mr. Nesby, I am going to ask that you please, you're not supposed to be in the same room with another witness while you're testifying, so it sounds like you're in there with your wife.
Yes, ma'am. I will move to another room, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Okay, I can hear you now. What is this picture of, sir?
That's a picture of my bed frame on my bed board in my room.
What is it about this picture that you want us to see or know?
If you see on the right hand side, as well as you can see on the left hand side, it's mold all over the bed.
Okay.
Mold, mildew. I don't know what exact you guys call it.
Okay.
All right. This the kitchen. The kitchen that was properly able to live in. Right where you see that pot at, it's supposed to be a dishwasher. And all across that floor, you can notice the missing tile. And that's all I got to say on it.
Okay. Was this ever repaired?
No, it never been repaired. No, ma'am.
Okay. What about?
All right, this light fixture right here. Well, I didn't submit all the photos, but I have all the photos and everything. This is where we started the repairment of the house. We started the repairment of the house. I literally went into that house and from light fixtures to the toilets to
All right, how many more pictures do we have here? How many more pictures are there, folks?
I don't even know because I was just showing pictures. Okay. I just like to take pictures when I'm dealing with a house.
Okay. Do you have any questions for Mr. Nesby on cross-examination?
I do. One is, Mr. Nesby, did I ask y'all to make a list of all the issues that were going on in the house once my husband passed?
I'm gonna be very honest, and I raised my right hand, and I'm gonna tell the truth.
Okay, Jackson, just ask him the question, let him answer. Just answer the question, Mr. Nesby. We've already said you're going to be honest. Go ahead and just say what you need to say.
You said what you said, but you came right back.
Miss Jackson, let him finish.
You made everything until my wife and everybody that unless I'm gone and I'm put out the house, you're not.
Mr. Nesby, she asked you whether or not you made a list of all the things that were wrong with the property and that you gave that. Did you give her a list? She said she asked you for a list. Mm-hmm. Did you give her one?
Yes, ma'am. We gave you a list. It wasn't nothing fixed.
When did you give me that list, Mr.?
I cannot recall. I cannot recall when I gave you a list, but I can recall that I paid rent in May and you wasn't speaking about fixing anything. You told everybody that they need to be out the house by August so you can fix the house. And I got proof of that.
So, Mr. Nesby, what is the date for the toilet repair? And
I mean, the date of the toilet repair.
It wasn't on the receipt. It wasn't
the
on the
date
receipt.
of the toilet repair. You said you didn't have anything to do with the house. So
okay. So that was prior to me.
yeah,
So
but the mold and mildew was due to you. Cause I feel like once your husband died, if you want to know about the date of the toilet, you took over all responsibilities. You didn't just take over the house, you took over all responsibilities, right?
okay. And so the pictures that you showed about the flood, when did that happen?
That happened exactly the time that we spoke to you. Let me explain something. Hold on, let me explain something. You and your niece and your nieces speak about this all the time. So it wasn't nothing that you was naive to. You spoke about your husband and said that, oh, if these folk go to court, you gonna end up owing them money. So it's nothing that they loved you like an auntie. They talked to you about everything that went on in their house. So it wasn't nothing in this house that you didn't know nothing about.
So I'm
And it's
going to
kind
ask
of crazy that you say that they were homeless and you asked them to stay here. I'm not your biological nephew.
I'm
I'm
going
not
to
your
ask the
biological
question.
nephew.
Okay, let him just finish. Like, let's just focus on this on the repair
Okay,
stuff. I don't
but
need to get into.
she spoke about everything to her nieces, all the way to I have proof what she spoke about when she wanted to put me out and
Okay,
everything.
what's your next question, Ms. Jackson?
Okay, so what date was I notified of the mold?
Again, like I said, you and your nieces speak about everything. How could you say what date was you notified when you say here saying that, oh, your husband owned the house there? Once your
Mr.
husband
Nesby,
died,
Mr.
you
Nesby,
inherit
really,
all
Mr.
the problems
Nesby,
that come with their house.
Mr. Nesby, you're not, just
I'm
answer
sorry.
the question. When did you tell her? You're saying that she talks about it with, I understand the
Judge,
saying.
Your Honor, she'd speak to her nieces about everything, and they told her.
When? Okay, you're saying you didn't,
when I found
Mr.
out,
Nesby, are you saying you didn't tell her, but that her niece told her?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Her niece.
You never told her directly that there was anything wrong with the house?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
When did you do that?
Auntie is molding in here, and we got mold and mildew. I can say it was. I can't really say the date because.
Well, you need to try, Mr. Nesby. You need to come up with something.
Can I look and see?
No, I mean you don't remember when you told her about this mold?
I can say it was around. Let me just tell the truth. I can say it was around 2025, around February.
So all this was going on for all these years and you never said a word to her about it?
No, I'm telling you what I said.
2025. We were just
Mr. Richard, let him answer.
I'm not saying when they said it. Because
Mr. Nesby, the question is, when did you tell her about these repair problems?
I mean, end of 2024, 2025.
Okay, so the beginning of this year, you told her.
In the last year, between end of last year.
Ms. Jackson, what's your next question for him?
The next question is the pictures, but we already went through that. Did you know that there was past due rent, that it was rent due?
Okay.
Like when, Mr. Jackson, you got to narrow that down a little bit.
Okay, did you know that starting from February through July, that there was not a full rent paid? Did you know that there was not the complete $1,400 for the rent paid?
All right, Ms. Jackson. I got receipts from where I sent you, and
yes,
I never knew nothing about no rent.
Mr. Nesby, just answer the question, sir. Did you pay full rent from February to June of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What's your next question, Ms. Jackson?
Okay. Do you have those receipts?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you kick your wife in the face? Was it in at my house?
How is this relevant? How is this relevant to this
Exactly.
district?
I ain't no kicked you in no face.
Okay, stop, Mr. Nesby. Like, I don't think this is relevant to what we're here for today. Go ahead. What's your next question, Ms. Jackson?
That's it.
Okay. All right. Ms. Richardson, do you have any follow-up questions for Mr. Nesby before I let him go?
Not at all.
Okay. All right, Mr. Nesby, you are free to, we're going to put you back in the waiting area. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Ms. Richardson, you don't have any other witnesses, do you?
No.
Okay. All right. It sounds like all the witnesses have gone ahead and testified. So I will take very, very brief closing arguments from both of you. Like, give me like 2 minutes each, and then we're going to conclude the case. Okay. Ms. Jackson, you can go ahead and go first, and then we'll let Ms. Richardson follow up.
The closing arguments is let me pull up my email. I notified them. They told me that they were going to be out in August, and here it is in November. So I want to know where I can, if I am able to go in, and everything that is left in the house, because there were items still left in the house. If I gave them a 24-hour notice, I sent her an email on August the 3rd saying that I needed to come in the house to look at some things. And she responded.
Right, Ms. Jackson, this is actually what I'm asking you to do is do a closing argument, just a summary of, again, just telling me in a nutshell what you want me to do tonight.
Okay, what I want you to do tonight is to grant me entry and possession back of my house.
Okay, and that's essentially what you want?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Richardson, if you would like to do a very brief closing argument.
I really don't have anything. It's no problem. This is the first time I spoke to her in months. She can have the keys back. That's not an issue whatsoever.
Okay, when are you going to turn the keys back?
Whenever she's available. That's the thing. When you try to ask her when she's available,
okay, well,
she's busy.
What about the instructions is that still a valid way to turn the keys in?
Yes, there's a lock on the mailbox. So if they put the keys in the mailbox and lock it, they can also put the mailbox key in there as well.
Ms. Richardson, when are you going to be able to turn that key in?
Today's Thursday. I can do it Saturday.
Okay.
Anything else? The week.
Anything else? Anything else, Ms. Richardson?
No.
Okay. All right, folks, this is what I'm going to do. I've listened to all the evidence for both sides. I do feel that, I did see that the last eviction, it was dismissed for failure to do the demand for possession. Ms. Jackson, you did do a proper demand for possession in this case. In terms of the rent, look, in terms of me I feel like since since you do still have the keys, for this case, I think I'm going to go ahead and give them a substantial reduction on any rent owed. I'm essentially going to issue a writ in 7 days from today. Because that's what that's the standard thing after a trial. I am going to grant a writ of possession in this case. I will find that Ms. Richardson, that you are going to owe $100 to Ms. Jackson in terms of back rent. That gives me so that way I can issue the writ in this case so that you can turn the keys in. So there'll be $100 back rent owed. So that's going to be the money judgment. So you're going to be getting for credit for your counterclaim, which I feel is substantial. But the writ of possession will be available for Ms. Jackson to apply for at 11:59 p.m. next Thursday, which is, what is the date?
That's the 27th, Judge, Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Right. So they're turning the keys in on Saturday. Well,
that's what she's stating, Ms. Richardson. I can't order that. All I can say is you can apply for the writ. If for some reason the keys don't get turned in, you can get your writ at 11:59 p.m. on the 25th, and you have to go through that process. Hopefully, Ms. Richardson, you'd like to get this over with and not have the writ out there So just turn it in. I mean, it'd be best for both of you. Just turn them in, like she said. And then you guys she won't need to apply for the writ if you can do that. So,
Okay.
All right. So that's going to be the order of the court. You are all free to log off. Have a nice rest of your night.
If you're involved in a dispute with another party such as this and you just can't seem to work it out, don't resort to taking the law into your own hands. You take it to court.
All right, thank you very much. Officer Burrell's waiting for you, and that will bring this case to a conclusion.